Hello, Lisa Moore here. Day 3 update. So today is very similar to yesterday. So today I spent time sending lenders some requests. They were asking for different type of paperwork, certain rent rolls, certain financials, some things we haven't received from the seller yet. So we are still waiting to get actual leases from the seller, their actual financials. Insurance companies have been asking if we know who the current carriers are and information on that. So we're waiting to get that information from the sellers as well. So today was just a lot of back and forth with the potential lenders and with potential insurance carriers and figuring out, trying to get some quotes and trying to really just narrow down our lending. One of the things that I was looking at today as far as lending was, and I'll have to finish the analysis this weekend, but when I'm looking at numbers with the lending that we're probably going to go with, which is a lower down payment, which is good because it's more keeping more money in our pocket, but that's going to mean a higher payment and a little bit of a higher interest rate. So that'll be a higher payment as well. So it's one of those things that looks, the numbers aren't as great, obviously, than if you're putting 25 or 30% down with a little lower interest rate. But it's the analyzing numbers on, okay, if we can do, how will this look for 6, 12, 18 months to get this stabilized, get rents up to market rents, and then be able to refinance. You know, we can put, just for round numbers, $600,000 down on the property and have to feed it some to get it till we get it stabilized. Or do we put 430, 450 down and keep $150,000 more in our bank account, but knowing that we'll have a higher payment and it'll be less cash flow until we get stabilized. So it's okay, do we spend the bigger chunk of money up front or kind of keep that difference aside, knowing that some of that will be used to help get that property stabilized, get some of the rents, some of the tenants that are going to be hopefully moving out, get those units updated in whichever way we need, which we'll know on Tuesday, and then be able to get those rents up to market rent. So that's really what we're looking at now, is really just trying to dig in this weekend. Now that we have some pretty solid quotes from lenders, I was hoping to decide on a lender today, but we were still getting a lot of quotes and a lot of info. So this weekend we'll really look at, okay, if we do a larger down payment with a lower interest rate, but probably a prepayment penalty, how does that look? Or do we do a lower down payment with a higher interest rate, and how does that look? So it's really just going to be comparing the two. How does that change our returns? How does that change the cash flow? And then there's the risk of if interest rates go up. That's a risk that, and granted, this loan that we're doing, we have 5 years before we have to refinance it. But if we did want to refinance in a year and a half, and rates are higher than that, we just have to know that, okay, our worst case scenario is keeping this mortgage for 5 years. How does that look? Just kind of stress test it and make sure, will it still be worth buying? Will it still be a good property? And if we can refinance into a lower interest rate, how does that look? And if our property value is higher, can we get some of our capital back on that? So these are all the things that we're going to be looking at. I'm going to really dig into those this weekend and really kind of analyze the numbers and figure out which way looks better, which way do we want to go, and just kind of make those decisions, and then really start to decide on the lender. Hopefully Monday or Tuesday is probably when we'll do that. We'll see the property Tuesday, and I always feel better when we actually get to see the property and we'll get to see all the units. So we'll really know, yes, this property is as expected. It's going to take about the same amount of capital as we expected. Or are we going to get there and go, wow, okay, the roof is crap. All the water heaters are about to go. Just knowing all that information. We don't know the age of the roof. There's a new boiler, which is good. Window unit ACs, but the boiler is definitely inefficient. So you would definitely look into what options we have on that. I discussed that a little bit yesterday, but yeah, so when we actually get to see the property, we'll definitely feel a lot better on the moving forward. Today, when you're under contract on something, you start to have those like, oh, is this going to be a good deal? Is this a smart purchase? Are we doing the right thing? So when you kind of, at least for me, like when I start to get those second thoughts and, ooh, is this a good deal? Should we be doing this? I kind of revert back to, what do the numbers say? That's what I like to look at. That's my comfort zone, because I know, okay, here's the numbers, here's our worst case, here's our best case, like different scenarios, and really make sure that we're comfortable with the numbers. Even in a worst case situation, are things going to be okay? So that is what we spent today doing. So very similar to yesterday, not any big changes from what we're doing. The next few days will be very similar. Tuesday will be a fun day. That'll be an exciting day, getting to go and walk the property and really take a look at it. So if you are finding value in this and you're really curious on how this whole process works, please follow along. Please subscribe. I'll be going through and sharing everything that I can think of that is valuable. I'm just looking at this as, when I was getting started, or when I am looking to invest with somebody else, what is it that I want to look for? What is it that the process looks like? How does it work? What are the steps in it? So whether you're looking to invest yourself or whether you're looking to invest passively and you're just curious, well, how does this process even work? Like, how do operators do this? And learn the types of things that you should make sure that if you're looking to invest with somebody, what that operator is doing, making sure they're stress testing things, making sure they're running their numbers in a lot of different scenarios to make sure, okay, here's a best case, here's a worst case. If this happens, like there's endless what ifs, but you definitely want to make sure that whatever operator you invest with is looking at all those different options, is looking at the lending, the different options there, what those mean for your returns, what that means for the overall health of the asset, and their plan of, okay, is this just short term? Is this going to be the financing for the hold period? What does that all look like? So I'm going to be going through all of that and continuing to share. If there's specific topics that you want to know, if there's specific questions that you have, please put them in the comments, shoot me a message. Either way, I would love to connect and make sure I answer all of the questions that you have. So thank you again. Make sure you subscribe. And if you know anyone who would find this valuable and be able to learn from this, then please share my channel with them. And I look forward to continuing on sharing this journey with you.